All right, let's just dive right into the finale of our explainer series. Welcome to part 10 of this 10-part tutorial, IPv6 Security, Vulnerabilities, Misconfigurations, and Mitigations, brought to you by the folks at Virtualization Options LLC out in Colorado. Now, if you're a network engineer or security pro who knows IPv4 inside and out, but you're kind of new to IPv6, well, you are in exactly the right place. The dual-stack reality means your old playbook just isn't going to cut it anymore. So today, focusing exclusively on Chapter 10 of the source material, we are totally done with the theoretical stuff. We're focusing entirely on your immediate, boots-on-the-ground deployment action plan.
We're shifting gears from vulnerabilities to your direct lifeline from Monday morning. This is the definitive checklist from Virtualization Options LLC. Since they're a top-tier tech research and advisory group, they've laid out exactly, and I mean exactly, what you need to do to secure networks that are newly transitioning to IPv6. Because let's face it, that transition phase, that's when your configuration maturity is at its absolute lowest, and your risks are sky high.
So, here is our roadmap for today. Step 1, discover your network. Step 2, harden the infrastructure. Step 3, filter the perimeter. Step 4, monitor all traffic. And Step 5, train your team.
Starting things off with Step 1, discover your network. Okay, the absolutely crucial point here is a massive shift in mindset. You literally must audit every single device with the baseline assumption that IPv6 is already active in your environment. Look, IPv6 is turned on by default on pretty much every modern operating system. Windows, macOS, Linux, iOS, Android, you name it. It is running on your network right now, whether you actually provisioned it or not. Crazy, right?
And that brings us to your immediate discovery checklist. You've got to inventory all IPv6 addresses, map out all active interfaces, and identify all active tunneling protocols. You have to hunt down every single active address. And keep in mind, things like cloud workloads in AWS or Azure, or even your local containers, they often just grab IPv6 addresses by default. You need to systematically find these to make sure no shadow interfaces or rogue tunneling protocols are sneaking around, compromising your broader network.
Moving right along to Step 2, harden the infrastructure.
You absolutely must forcefully apply these 4 specific first-hop security features to stop rogue hijacking and spoofing dead in its tracks. Apply RA Guard to block those malicious router advertisements. Enable DHCPv6 Shield so your clients only get configs from trusted servers. Deploy ND Inspection to validate neighbor discovery. And enforce ForceGuard to tie hosts down to their actual bound addresses. And, actually, let me really stress this because the source material hammers it home, this has to be done on every single managed switch. Just one unprotected switch that completely undermines the security of the whole local link. No exceptions.
Next up, you need to systematically disable unused transition tunneling protocols. We're talking Teredo, 6to4, and ISATAP. Shut the door on them. If your architecture doesn't explicitly need these translation mechanisms, leaving them on is basically handing an attacker a prepackaged bypass right around your edge defenses. Just turn them off completely.
Now for Step 3, filter the perimeter. This is where it gets really interesting. While you definitely need strict parity between your IPv4 and IPv6 access control lists, you also have to deploy IPv6 specific rules. For example, you can't just blindly drop all ICMP traffic like you might do in IPv4. If you do that in IPv6, you will literally break the entire network. So the golden rule here, match your existing IPv4 ACLs for sure, but follow RFC 4890 for ICMPv6 so you're filtering intelligently.
That means explicitly configuring your perimeter devices to block all bogon prefixes, drop routing header 0 or RH0 packets, and block fragmented ICMPv6 traffic before it ever even touches your internal hosts. Why focus on fragments? Well, because attackers love using maliciously tiny first fragments to hide TCP and UDP headers. It helps them slip right past stateless firewalls. So drop those fragments at the edge. Honestly, legitimate fragmented traffic hitting your edge services is incredibly rare anyway.
All right, Step 4, monitor all traffic.
You really have to verify that your CM, IDS, and NetFlow tools fully support and parse IPv6. Enable IPv6 logging on all devices, include it in your threat intel and IOC matching, and integrate it with your EDR telemetry. Look, if your dual-stack network is only logging IPv4 pre- and post-translation addresses, you are operating with a massive, glaring blind spot.
You need to ensure your entire telemetry pipeline can natively recognize, record, and alert on those 128-bit IP addresses. It's an absolute game changer.
And finally, the big one. Step 5. Train your team.
The source material points this out perfectly. Knowledge is the most effective and most underinvested mitigation against IPv6 vulnerabilities. You have to mandate comprehensive IPv6 specific education for all your network and security folks. In fact, this perfectly aligns with an NSA recommendation highlighted in the text. Staff needs this education before they administer these networks, not after an incident forces your hand. Inexperience is pretty much the root cause of almost all IPv6 security failures. Make this training a prerequisite, not just an afterthought.
So, looking at these 5 actionable steps, the final question is really up to you. Will you start your IPv6 audit today, or will you wait for a catastrophic breach? You've got the targeted execution plan for your dual-stack network right here. Take these steps, get your visibility dialed in, and lock down your infrastructure. Thanks so much for hanging out with us for this explainer, and good luck out there on your network.